Hi guys, I hope you are doing well. Welcome to this session of the APM. Let me introduce myself. My name is Luqman Rafiq. I've been in teaching profession for more than 14 years now, teaching the different subjects for the different qualifications. As far as my ACCA teaching is concerned, I teach performance management, both the performance management and the advanced performance management. Both levels of the financial management, which is the FM and the AFM, AAA, and the SBR. So these are the 6 papers that I actually teach for the ACCA qualification. I've been doing many other things like teaching the different different other qualifications, including the CIMA, including the ICAW, and one of the local Pakistani accountancy qualification, which is ICAP also. Let me just guide you that what exactly is the agenda for today's session going to be. The agenda for today's session is going to be that I shall try to do 1 or 2 exam questions of the past papers of the APM. And what I would try to do is that I would try to do these on the ACCA CB practice platform so that you people do actually get an idea that how to use the CB practice platform also. So I'm going to start off. Let's just start discussing. I have opened in front of me the APM Specimen examination, which is being available on the ACCA CB practice platform. As you people know, I'll just go back to this. As you people know, that the paper has got 2 sections. What are the 2 sections of the paper? There is basically section A, which has got 1 question worth 50 mark. And then there is this section B, where there are 2 questions and each of the question is worth 25 marks each. So I'm not going to do the section A question today. I'm going to do the section B today. And I'm going to start discussing about this section B because a lot of students, what happens is that they find it really difficult to answer the questions because they don't actually understand what the examiner is looking for. And when they don't understand actually what the examiner is looking for, they usually mess up in answering the questions. So what I'll try to do is that I'll try to take you people through and we'll see that what best we can do with respect to answering these questions. So as I said, I've used the APM specimen examination. Well, the one that I actually opened up, it was basically available for the period after the June 2022. So it's based on the new syllabus, not the old syllabus. Let me just start discussing that what exactly is this going to be. So we have got one of the question, which is question 2 of this paper. And the question 2 of this paper is a question named Coulomb mining. It's actually pertaining to a question named Coulomb mining. Let me just guide you people a bit that how exactly should you be reading through the question. Let's just try to see this thing. Basically, whenever you are being given an examination question, the best approach to adapt the examination question is that, first of all, you go through this specific area of the question. Then you go through the requirements of the question. And then automatically you will be able to understand things. So let's just start discussing. It says the following exhibits available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the question. So what happens is that the following exhibits available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the questions. What are the questions? It says the company and the industry background of Coulomb mining. That's number 1. The recent event, which is changes in competition and market factors leading to the calculation of Coulomb mining Z score. Then it says Appendix 1. Okay. So basically, what does it say? It says that Appendix 1 analyst report extract detailing Coulomb mining Z score calculation. The information should be used to answer the question requirements within the response option provided. Yes, I had actually stopped speaking because my daughter, she came in between, so I had to actually put her aside. So that's why I just stopped a bit. Anyways, let's just start discussing about it. So this is the information that's being given to us. These are the exhibits that are given to us. This is I'm doing it through the CB practice platform. I'm doing it through the practice platform only. Now let's discuss about it further. Franchi Amores, thank you for highlighting this. I'm gonna move on to the next one. Thank you very much for highlighting this thing. Okay, guys. So I'm going to start discussing about this APM specimen examination, which is available from the September 2022 onwards. Let's have a bit of a discussion about this specific question. So we have this paper. As we start off with the paper, we know that there are basically the guidance available initially. And after the guidance, what is actually there is that we need to move on to the questions. So I'm not going to be doing the question number 1 in today's session. I shall actually be doing question number 2 and the question number 3. That is what my target is for today. Not going to do question number 1 right now. So I'm going to move on to section B, question number 2. Now, when I talk about this question number 2, let's have a bit of a discussion about this question number 2. It says the following exhibits available on the left-hand side of the screen provide information relevant to the question. So these are the exhibits which are providing information relevant to the questions. What are the exhibits? It says company information, the industry sector and challenges faced by a key customer of the company, Corus company. So there is basically a key customer, Corus company. Details relating to that key customer are given. Then it says purchasing and production. The information related to the current purchasing policy and current production method used by Corus company. Then it says GIT and the cost of quality. The information related to request by ERIT to move to GIT purchasing system and cost of quality exercise requested by so-and-so, Appendix 1, the quality report. Now, what exactly is the requirement? It says the information should be used to answer the question requirement within your chosen response option. If I go on to do the requirement of the question, let's just see what is the examiner asking us to do. He says respond to the CEO's request for work on the following areas. The introduction of the JIT and the cost of quality changes. Then it says professional marks will be awarded for the demonstration of a skill in analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen in your answer. Now, a lot of students, since the introduction of these professional marks, they become a bit confused as to how exactly should we be answering them. A lot of students, they get confused as to how exactly should we be answering them. So for that, I'm going to suggest you one thing. You have to be normal. You have to be very normal. You don't have to actually think as if it is something, you don't have to think as if this is something of a rocket science. It's all the same thing. It's just there is a bit of a difference with respect to dealing with these professional marks, and that we are just going to understand as we will move through the question. But generally speaking, there is not much of a difference. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to just copy all the requirements there onto the Word document. I've just copied all the requirements onto the Word document. And what I'm going to do now is that I'm going to start discussing about the questions and then I'll attempt each and every requirement of the question. First of all, let's just try to identify the company information. That what exactly is the company information? Let's try to see. Let's try to go through it. It says Coriolis Company is a clothing manufacturer in Thailand, which produces a range of dresses which it sells to Erit. So what are they? They are a clothing manufacturer in Thailand. They produce a range of dresses. Every single word that you read in the question is important. Every single word that you read in the question is important. The range of dresses are the only products which Coriolis produces and Erit is its only customer. So you've got only one single customer. Erit is well-known retailer in Thailand. Erit has recently been affected by changes in consumer purchasing preferences to buying clothing online and as a result is keen to reduce its inventory holding as a way of reducing its cost. Okay, so your online, your customer to whom you actually supply the most has actually switched to online mode. And when he has switched to the online mode, what is actually happening is that he does not want to keep the inventory. He wants to reduce the inventory levels. And as a result of this, basically, you will also have to change the way you are operating. And it is also finding that it has an excess of goods, which it has to discount as consumer tastes appear to change more quickly than in the past. So obviously, as the consumer preferences changes, as the time is progressing along, the consumer buying pattern and the consumer preferences, they're all changing over a period of time. Now, the chief executive has given you some tasks. So what are the tasks that the chief executive has given? Let's just try to understand them. Purchasing and production. Now it says the current purchasing policy, the company currently obtains its raw material from 4 suppliers. So we are actually obtaining it from 4 suppliers. Each of these suppliers operates differently in terms of the processes and procedures. So you see what happens is that you need to actually, when you are reading the question, you got to understand where the question is taking. The question is taking you towards GIT. The question is actually taking you towards the GIT. And if the question is taking you towards the GIT, you need to understand that what different is actually happening. So what different is actually happening? When you go towards the GIT, the way of ordering, the way of production, the way of things actually changes. And it requires a lot of standardization. So it says each of these suppliers operates differently in terms of the processes and procedures, which they adopt in trading with Coriolis. Coriolis has been agreeable to this as the quality of raw material supplied has generally been acceptable. More recently, however, Coriolis found reason to question the accuracy and quality of the material delivered from one supplier. So the doubts over one supplier. Additionally, another supplier now only dispatches material to Coriolis in full load quantities as it wishes to optimize the use of its delivery vehicle. So now amongst the 4 suppliers, one of the supplier you have been finding problems. One of the supplier is actually dictating the quantity of the goods that he or she is going to deliver. Now let's move a bit forward. Let's discuss further. It says current production methods. The performance matrix at Coriolis for production efficiency is the number of dresses produced per period. So their production efficiency is that they focus upon number of dresses produced per period. The method of production is to produce individual dresses in long production run, which is helped in maximizing out. So you just produce for one customer, and when you do produce, you produce in a lot of quantities, in a bulk quantities. So obviously it's how your pattern of manufacturing has been. Staff working in the production department have their bonus based on this matrix. So the bonus of the staff is also based on this matrix, that the staff, they get the bonus. How do they get the bonus? They get the bonus in the form of the production efficiency, in the production output, etc. Now what next is there? The next situation is that couriers have the practice of testing goods at the final stage of production, and before they leave the factory, the goods which have not been produced to required standard have traditionally been rejected at the production process. So there has been rejections also. The way they have been producing the goods, it has not always been the good. It has not always been the correct production. It has not always been the right first time production. The goods production has actually has been different. At times the goods are produced which are right first time. At times the goods are produced which are not the right first time. Core's production control manager has indicated to you that the current production method has been successful as the company only has 5% goods returned from arid due to poor quality. Now, since the arid's business model is changing, this is not going to be acceptable. This is not going to be acceptable. Now, let's move a bit forward. Let's discuss further. Now, what next is there? GIT and the cost of quality. Now, what is this GIT and cost of quality section? Here it says, Arid would like to move to GIT system of purchasing its goods from Coriolis company. And as a result, Coriolis is contemplating major changes to its working practices. Obviously, since you have got only one customer for whom you work for, so you got to make sure that you amend your production methods in a way that it actually suits the customer. Right? What next is there? The next situation is, it says Coriolis CEO has also made to you available, sorry, the CEO has asked you as a management consultant to assess the changes which the company will have to make in the areas of purchasing and production in order to supply the goods to Arid on the GIT basis. So you see, this is what the questions requirement is. If you just read the requirement, you will get to know nothing. The whole requirement is actually here. I repeat, the whole requirement is actually here. The whole requirement is actually here. That's what he's asking. He's saying if we move to JIT, what are going to be the changes that we would have to do? If we move to JIT, what are going to be the changes that we'd have to do? Now, cost of quality. The company has also made available to a cost of quality report, which he believes addresses all relevant quality costs and so on. I'm not going on to the second part right now. First of all, it's a 13-mark requirement, which is the introduction of GIT, and you know what the company is asking. They want you as a management consultant to assess the changes which they will have to make in the areas of purchasing and production in order to supply goods to INRIT on JIT basis. I'm giving you 5 minutes. You can take 5 minutes and you can actually list down some pointers for it, and then we are going to start discussing. Yeah, try to list down few things, then I'm actually going to start discussing on this. Okay, let's just start discussing about it. So basically, we are actually trying to introduce the GIT approach to it. And if we are actually introducing the GIT approach to it, what are the things that we actually need to do? What are the things that we actually need to introduce in the company? Now, see, before I go on to it, you people do have an idea that what a GIT is all about, right? So when we talk about the GIT, generally speaking, with the GIT, you have got 0 levels of inventory, right? You have got 0 levels of inventory. And here they are talking about a complete GIT. Here they are talking about a complete GIT. What do you mean by complete GIT? The complete GIT means the GIT is going to be on the production, it's going to be on the purchasing. Now, an important thing is basically we need to write down the answer in a manner that the examiner should actually feel that yes, they actually know what they are talking about. So if we don't relate it to the scenario, we are not going to get marks. You got to relate it to the scenario in order to get the marks. Let's try to understand this. I'm just going to list down the key pointers from here. It says it's a clothing manufacturer which produces range of dresses which it sells to Erit. The range of dresses are only products which Coriolis produces, which the company produces for what? Which the company produces. Now, the second thing is that the only customer is Erit. So now what you need to do is that you need to say Erit is the only customer. I am just listing down the things. Then I'm going to write down the answer in detail. Erit is the only customer. And Erit's business model is changing. Customers now prefer buying online. I'm just listing down key point. Then I'm going to jump. I'm just going to write down the answer. So Erit has to reduce cost of inventory holding plus to avoid the discounts that they have to apply to sell inventory. Customer tend to move to new product quickly. That's actually an indicator of short product life cycle. So that is something with respect to the customer that I've actually mentioned in here. I'm again telling you from the examination perspective, I'm just trying to list down few things, right? From the examination perspective, I'm trying to list down few things so that we are able to actually know that what to answer, how to answer. Now, then what actually happens is that if I move a bit forward in this scenario, there's this purchasing and production. They obtain the goods from the 4 suppliers. Whom do you obtain the goods from? You obtain the goods from the 4 suppliers. So you could actually say that let me just put it here. Multiple suppliers are used. Each supplier has a different process and procedure. Accuracy and quality of a supplier has been found incorrect. Furthermore, another supplier insisting on large order size production focuses on efficiency and output. Production method is to do bulk production. Testing is done at final stage. A 5% error is found and goods are returned. Now, what is it that I have done? I have actually listed down all the things that are actually there and which actually need to change. So you would now see that you could just create the whole story around it. Because what was the CEO asking? He says as a management consultant to assess the changes which couriers will make in the areas of purchasing and production in order to supply goods to Enrit on a JIT basis. So how would I write down the answer? I would write down my answer like this. I would initially say, I would explain what a just-in-time approach is. So just-in-time approach is basically ordering raw material when they will be needed in the production. Goods are produced when a demand is there. Neither raw material nor neither the raw material nor the finished goods inventory is maintained. Since inventories are not maintained, the focus is to produce the right first time products. Again, I say since the inventories are not maintained, the focus is to produce the right first time products. So what you are gonna do is that first of all, you're just gonna decide this specific thing. Now you would say that the Erit is the only customer. Their business model is changing. Their customers now prefer buying online. They have to reduce the cost of inventory, so and so, so and so. So what happens is that the Corvus company shall have to adapt to the needs of Erit. Close working relationship required from supplier with focus on quality, quantity, timely deliveries, and ensuring error-free work is performed. The processes of the suppliers need to be standardized, and each supplier should be managed on that basis. Each supplier should be managed on that basis. Furthermore, you need to tell them that the suppliers may need to be filtered. The approach of accepting 5% returns from the customer needs to change, and no errors / returns are acceptable, as they would hamper the supply chain and would lead to delay in the supply of goods to the ultimate customer. Production quantities need to reduce. The production process to be made efficient. Focus to be shifted from bulk production to quality production within the allocated or / available time. The testing should be a continuous process instead of testing at the final stages. Now, you would see that this is how I have actually identified the different pointers that I'm going to use in order to answer this question. If any one of you would like to add up anything, if any one of you would like to suggest anything, you're most welcome to do that. Yeah, if anyone would like to add up anything to it, anyone would like to suggest anything to it, you are most welcome to do that. Okay, good enough. There were a few inputs from Julian, which was about flexible production. We'll talk about it. Skilled labor due to economic, due to dynamics, so and so, so and so. I'm just gonna put in few things here. I'm not able to copy. Anyways, so it's actually about the flexible production, uh, staff slash labor training, strong relationships with the suppliers. So this is what you are going to talk about, the whole of it, and we have just written down. So this is what you have to discuss, and I would suggest you discuss it in the short paragraphs. That is something that's going to lead you towards maximum marks. Let's move on to the next question. Let's discuss the other part of the question, where it says that cost of quality. The company's CEO has also made available to you a cost of quality report, which she believes addresses all relevant costs of quality. The report is in Appendix 1. She would like you to discuss the potential quality cost changes in the light of proposed move to GIT. So what does she want? She wants you to discuss the changes in the light of the move to the proposed GIT. She indicated that some of these costs have never been measured before and have been given financial values to help you in the discussion. She also told you the company's current revenue is 4.5 million. Let's just try to see this. So they've given the quality cost where it says the cost of conformance, prevention cost, the appraisal cost, which is the supervision, the quality audit, the cost of non-conformance, which is the internal failure, rework, machine downtime, scrap, external failure, cost of complaint from merit, foregone contribution from lost sales, and product recalls and the cost of goods returned. So the total is 13.62% of the sales. That's what it is going to. Now, what is the requirement of the question? That you have to respond the cost of quality changes. Now, what is the examiner asking us to do? He's saying that she would like you to discuss potential quality cost changes in the light of the proposed move to GIT. Now, when we are going to be talking about this proposed move to GIT, when we are going to be talking about the proposed move to GIT, what is it that we are going to do? We're going to say that, look, the existing quality cost as defined are as follows. So you would actually define the cost of conformance. You would define what the quality prevention cost is. That is the cost incurred to protect the failure from arising. Appraisal costs are basically the costs incurred to ensure that failure does not happen. Then the quality of non-conformance the non-conformance cost I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's talk about the cost of non-conformance. The cost of non-conformance, internal failure. I literally don't know what's going wrong with it. Why are we having this issue? I don't know what is hidden over here, which is actually bothering the whole of this. Okay, cost of quality changes. The proposed move to GIT, what you would do is that you would say that the existing quality costs as defined are as follows. Then you've got the conformance cost, which is the prevention cost and the appraisal cost. Then you've got the non-conformance cost, which is internal failure and which is external failure. The internal failure where the failure is detected within the organization, where the failure is reported by the customer. With the move to GIT, the focus on conformance cost will be needed to be increased, whereas the focus on non-conformance cost should be removed. With a move to JIT, the focus on conformance cost will be needed to be increased, whereas the focus on non-conformance cost should be removed. Now, the existing cost supplier screening / evaluation will increase for the prevention cost. The supervision and the quality audit cost will increase. machine maintenance will be increased in the prevention section. The rework cost, scrap cost, cost of complaints, foregone contributions, and the product recalls will reduce significantly. As the focus would be more on managing relations with the suppliers who are more inclined towards managing the time and quality instead of the ones focusing on the large quantities and not complying with the quality standards. So hence your quality costs are gonna change in this specific manner. So I repeat, your quality costs are gonna change in this specific manner. Is there any other addition that you people would like to suggest? Is there anything else that you would like to suggest? Yeah, hello. Are you people awake or are you people sleeping? Right? So I think now you people actually know that how to actually structure an answer. Given the circumstances, how would you structure the answer? You would now have a bit of an idea about it. Yes, the cost of reordering will go up, and the cost of reordering is not a quality cost. Actually, it's the inventory cost. So the cost of reordering will go up for sure. But again, what happens is that unfortunately, you have a customer to manage. And in order to manage that customer, you got to make sure that you comply with the needs and the requirements of the customer. That is something that you would have to do. Yes, the cost of end product could actually be impacted. But again, you see, don't deviate yourself from, I repeat, don't deviate yourself from the original objective of this specific question, which was that how it would impact the quality cost. The question is not asking for the inventory cost. Just don't go on discussing the inventory cost at length. Don't do that. Okay, yes, for the professional marks, I'm just gonna talk about now. Okay, now let's just discuss this. Let's just move forward. So basically, here the question's requirement was that you were to get 5 marks for the demonstration of a skill in analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen in your answer. Now, so basically what happens is that now let me just give you a bit of a guidance that what is going to be the analysis and evaluation skill. Analysis and evaluation in this specific scenario is mostly going to be where we are actually going to be talking about the proposed changes that are going to arise to the methods, to the suppliers, to the quality cost. So when we are talking about them, you will automatically are demonstrating all these things. When we talk about the skepticism is basically a critical, a questioning type of an attitude where you actually have a judgmental thing. So like for example, getting rid of the suppliers or basically talking about the managing the number of suppliers, things like that, they are the aspects of the question which are actually going to be there. With respect to the commercial acumen, understanding that Erit is a major customer, managing their requirements, ensuring we are aligned to their goals and objectives. That's all actually a demonstrate of commercial acumen in this specific scenario. Okay, so is it good enough? Understand this now? Okay, lovely. So basically, what have we done? We have gone through one of the questions that was about the quality cost and the demonstration as to how the quality costs are going to be impacted and how you would actually go on to the application of GIT. Now you would have actually got an idea from this question that how we need to answer, how we need to handle the information. Just read the question carefully, try to jot down the information, try to list down the information, and then try to make sure that you are making sense out of that. So that is something that you need to do. Now, we are meeting up again day after tomorrow, and what I would want you people to do is to attempt this question on your own. This is APM Specimen from September 2022 onwards. I want you to attempt this question on your own and just try to see what you can do without looking at the examiner's answer. Just don't look at the examiner's answer at all. Just do whatever you can actually do. Right? Just try to do this question to your the best of possible capabilities. And then what we are going to do is that we're now going to meet up day after tomorrow. And what are we going to do? We are going to actually discuss in detail, discuss at length this question, and I'll do 2 more questions with you people. So I'm giving you this task, which you have to do on your own. And we're going to come back and we're going to join back again. Uh, right? So we are gonna continue day after tomorrow, and I want you people to go through this specific question, and we meet up next, inshallah. It's basically on the CB practice platform. Um, it's a CB practice platform, APM Specimen from September 22 onwards. Right? Yes, Shane, I have a plan for this, but the one problem that I'm actually facing is I cannot do it this week. I'll be able to do next week. I mean, like maybe 1 or 2 days before the examination. So if that is okay for you people, I can do 100% revision of the whole syllabus also in, let's say, 2 hours. Right? Okay, good enough. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you for attending the session. See you inshallah day after tomorrow, and we're just gonna take it up from there. Thank you.